Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the Good Stoop Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Lord X, and we're really deep into the summer drought right now, so this is going to be a fun episode. Probably a lot of bullshitting going on. But anyways, I'm joined once again by the one, the only, expect a very special video from him in the very near future on his channel, Israel Pacheco.
We'll get to that. It'll come soon, but we'll get to that.
How you doing this week, man?
I'm doing good, man. Like you said, drought really right now in terms of news, in terms of game releases. There is some good stuff out there coming out, but
yeah, not a whole lot.
It's July.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, really.
Yeah.
At least in terms of releases.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know personally, my goal this summer is just like to pay off the shit that's coming out in the fall. Because October is coming and it's going to rock your socks off.
No,
oddly
October's
enough,
bad.
I think I have like 3 Vita games in October.
Jeez.
And the Vita has no games, they say.
October's going to be terrible. I was looking at everything that comes out in October. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, Huber went over that on his latest Syndrome video. It's like, oh my god, he's right. There's so much shit coming out.
He didn't even include a PSVR, which is one of the biggest things that month.
Yep. But anyways, I guess it's time to kick off this episode, as we kick off every episode, with what we've been playing. So Izzy, what have you been playing this week?
I got 7 games.
Wow! I think last week was nothing.
Yeah. I had nothing last week, but
God damn, did you ever catch up then?
Yeah, I played a lot this week. Let's start off with some of the more smaller like titles, stuff that I'm not going to talk about for too long. Okay. First one being Pokemon Go came out. I downloaded it on iOS because I have an iPhone. I tried it out for a little bit yesterday. I created my character, which is kind of strange. There really isn't that much in terms of options for you to customize your character. It's really basic. It's like you pick male or female and then like maybe 2 different like shirts and shoes. Whatever. But I started it up. I got Charmander as my starter Pokemon. I started walking around my mom's backyard because I was over her house. I caught a Pidgey and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. It uses, your GPS signal on your cell phone, and then it tells you when there's Pokemon in the area, and then there's like Poke stops in special locations where you could get Pokeballs and other items. Then there's gyms in other locations, or which I didn't go to, like, because you physically have to walk around, like, and this is Florida. It's like 100 degrees out. It's not happening. So I got home today and I deleted it.
Wow. Fuck you, Nintendo. I'm not going outside anymore.
I'm just being honest. It's too hot in Florida for that. But this game has caught, the world by storm. Everybody at work is playing it on their shift, which is hilarious. They're just walking around playing this game even on their break. It's so funny. So I could see the addicting qualities of this game, and it's a unique take on the Pokemon game, but it's really shallow, to be honest. Like, you don't actually have any Pokemon fights. It's just you catching Pokemon and then, leveling up your character and then being able to buy more Pokeballs so you could catch even more Pokemon. It's a cool premise. It's cool that you have to go to special locations since it uses your GPS tracker to find certain Pokemon. But I don't know. It just feels like another game, like everybody's really on it right now.
Yeah.
And in 3 weeks it'll be like Miitomo. Like nobody's going to care.
Yeah, everybody's a part of the hype right now, except for Canada, because it's not out here yet. Unless you download it sideways or whatnot.
That reminds me of a tweet from a DC Radaya. He posted like, everybody's playing Pokemon Go and me, I'm here being Canadian or something. It's like that Spider-Man meme. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that. But I know he's a huge Pokemon fan, so he's really looking forward to playing it. I know you're looking forward to playing it eventually when it hits Canada. But yeah, it just feels kind of shallow to me. I'm just being completely honest. And this is the second mobile game by Nintendo. We had Miitomo, which I was glowing about it, which I thought was really cool. Cool idea, but it really burned out quick. Same thing I feel is going to happen with Pokemon Go. I'm not going to go outside and walk around. And I think it's cool for people who, it was tracking like a park that was near my mom's house. And it treated it like as one of the Pokestops, which I thought was cool. So it makes you go outside and stuff. But it's Florida. It's like 100 degrees out. I'm not doing this, and it's really shallow. Like, I'm not doing much in the game. You're just catching Pokemon, completing the Pokédex. And it's cool, but it's just not doing it for me. I don't know.
I can't wait until they have area-specific Pokemon. You want to catch this Oddish? Well, you got to go to Brazil.
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker at work, and he was telling me, like, Animal Kingdom in Disney supposedly has like all the safari Pokemon. So I don't know if that's true or that's just people, talking, rumors, speculation. It's only been out for a few days. But there seems to be, since it uses your location, like if you're near a lake or something, you'll get like a water type Pokemon, something of that nature. But I don't know. I think it's cool that a lot of people are talking about Nintendo right now. A lot of people are talking about Pokemon, and it shows the power of the brand of Pokemon, especially coming to other devices. So if they had a legit Pokemon game, it would like do great, I think. I don't know if people would be willing to pay $30-$40 for a traditional Pokemon game on iOS. This is free, of course, and it has microtransactions for you to buy Pokeballs and other items and things of that nature. So I don't know. And I tweeted because you were like, "Oh, he's playing a Nintendo game." I was like, "It's just supporting the eventual future that Nintendo goes third party." But I had to check it out. Everybody's talking about it. I think it's cool in concept. I'm not gonna walk around. I'm sorry. It's 100 degrees outside. I'm not doing it. So yeah, I'll kick it over to you to one of the games you've been playing.
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much this past week. I've been on a massive Vita kick lately, just like Vita game after Vita game, really. But I tested out Adventures of Mana on the Vita, which Square Enix just like stealth dropped onto the PSN last week.
I heard about that, yeah.
Which, that came out of nowhere. It's very, very basic. I mean, it's a remake of a GBA game, or not even GBA, sorry, like
Game Boy,
original
right?
Game Boy, yeah. So it's a very basic RPG. It's very, very simple, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Haven't really played a game like that in quite some time now, so yeah, I'm having fun, and seems like a very obtainable platinum trophy as well, so why not? I might go for it. I bought it mainly to support it. Yeah, it's like Square Enix finally released it, fans wanted it. It's like, okay, awesome, I'll buy this. Now please give me I Am Setsuna on the Vita.
So is it as basic as a Pokemon game, or even more basic than that, you would say?
I would say even more basic than that, yeah.
So is it like Dragon Quest? Like just a traditional, JRPG turn-based?
It's not even turn-based system. Like, the enemies spawn on the map. Think like the original Legend of Zelda.
Well, okay.
It's like that, but with, like, better graphics.
Okay. I think it's cool, though. They finally brought it out.
Yep.
After, like, it's been out for a while now in Japan, right?
Yeah, it has, and I think it came to mobile over here, but they didn't put out the Vita version until now. There was no fanfare for it or anything. They just dropped it and stuck up a blog post on the PlayStation blog, like, "Hey, we released it."
It's perfect time though, because it's a drought right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they would have released this in October, it would have been dead. But
oh God, yes. But
yeah.
so yeah, it's smart on them for releasing it right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'll kick it back to you for a couple of games.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Let me see if I got any quick ones. Yeah, the next quick one is Rock Band 4. I've talked about this game before. Playing it on Xbox One. I've been doing a lot of Twitch streaming. I finally set it up with OBS and all that. I spent like a few hours, probably more than a few hours, watching videos on how to set up that with the Elgato and the face cam and everything. And I've done some streams, and quality has
good
been
setup going.
Yeah, the quality looked great, and like I'm sure you hopped in. I think you hopped in the Star Wars one at one point.
May the Force be with this first stream.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like from my experience streaming it, the only thing is that of course, since it has copyrighted music, as soon as the archive went up, a lot of it got muted, so I just decided to delete it. But it was fun times. I was chatting with a few people in the comments section on Rock Band 4. My buddy Cody, aka Sonic Lopsided, he was like, throwing out requests for songs, and it was a fun time. There were a couple other people watching, so it was cool. I'm liking the whole Twitch streaming right now. I think I'm gonna do that a lot moving forward. Make some sort of consistent schedule.
Nice.
That I do that, and I'm digging it because it kind of forces me to play. It doesn't force me, but it kind of gives me more of an incentive to play games. And even if it's just one or two people watching, and you get some people in the comment section, it's cool to interact with people. It's cool to actually be playing stuff, instead of being, editing footage or something for like a YouTube video. But Rock Band 4 still fun. Another fast one here. Let me see. I know you disagreed about me with this game, but I finally played through Gone Home on PS4, and I wasn't really impressed with it. I think what hurt this game is how long it took me to play it. Like, it just came out on PS4 earlier this year. It's been on PC since like August of 2013, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been out on PC forever. There was so much hype, so much, critical acclaim for this game back when it came out. And maybe this was just something that if I would have played back then, it would have clicked with me. Like, it has some cool concepts in terms of how they tell you the story, but the story wasn't necessarily spoiled for me. But since I wasn't going into it with completely fresh eyes, like, I knew it wasn't a horror game, so all the stuff that they try to do to make it like creepy, like, that really didn't work on me at all, because I knew that going in. And then when they had the little twist in the story, which I am gonna spoil, like, the big twist. I'm sorry, guys. It came out, a long time ago. But the whole twist is that you come home, your family's gone, both your mom and dad and your sister, she's gone. Eventually you find out that your mom and dad are just away for the weekend, and they had left your sister alone in the home with some money so she could buy pizza. Like, I remember one of the conversations being like that. And you go through the house and you pick up notes from your sister, and it, you hear like a audio recording of it. It's not like BioShock that you're picking up audio recordings, but you pick up like a piece of paper and then an audio recording plays while you're walking through it. And then you find out that your sister's been struggling, with her sexuality, and she's a lesbian. She comes out to her parents. Her parents basically reject her. She has this, I want to say, like, a friend/girlfriend that she's about to go to the military. She leaves for the military, and then on the bus ride to the military base, I guess, where they're doing like the what do you call that?
Basic training.
Yeah, basic training. That's the term that I was looking for. She just gets off the bus, and then she calls her And then your sister decides to leave basically and go travel the country with her girlfriend, and it's something different. Like, we haven't really seen too much of this stuff in games. Maybe that's why it got so much critical acclaim in 2013, because even back then there's been some stuff more recently in terms of sexuality and characters and stuff lately, but I could see why back then it would have been a big deal. But to me, it wasn't. I beat the game in, like, I want to say an hour or less. Like, I was looking on my
it's
PSN.
Not a long game.
Like, I thought it was going to be longer than that, like at least 2 hours, but I finished it quickly. It was interesting, but it just didn't have that emotional weight with me. I don't know. It just, like, there was some cool stuff there in terms of the themes and how they told the story, but it's not like something I'm going to look back on years from now and be like, oh, that was a, profound experience for me. Like, it was for a lot of people.
I wouldn't necessarily, like, I do disagree with you. I think it's a really, really good game. I don't think it was a profound experience for me. It was more along the lines of, I found it to be a really sweet story overall. Like,
I didn't hate it.
Really nice.
But I guess the expectations were so high at this point from me, hearing from people like years and years, like Greg Miller. He's always talking about this game and bringing up how he finished it and he was crying and he went and hugged his, like, girlfriend, and like I kept hearing that story over and over. I'm like, wow, this game, like, I was expecting something on the level of, like, a Journey, and that was not the case with this at all. I don't regret playing it, but I don't think it's going to be very memorable, if that makes any sense, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
So I didn't hate it. I don't think it lived up to the expectations, but I'll kick it over to you for your last game on the Vita.
That's right. Somebody's got to support the Vita, and I'm doing it right now. I played more XCOM Enemy Unknown Plus on the Vita. I finished up the Exalt missions where you're fighting against the other humans. And the other night, or last night actually, in terms of when we're recording this, I did the mission where the aliens actually attack your base, and god damn was that ever an intense situation right there. But overall, I'm actually building up now towards the end of the game again, and I can't say, like, enough good things about XCOM Enemy Unknown. I fucking adore this game, and with this release on the Vita, I'm, like, hooked right back into it again. Absolutely in love with it. And it's making me even more excited now for the fall when XCOM 2 finally comes out on consoles. And you mentioned streaming earlier. Like, I'm planning and getting excited now for, like, streaming this game and just having my first, like, playthrough of it be recorded like I did with the original. If you own a Vita, pick up XCOM Enemy Unknown Plus. It's so fucking good. The frame rate will drop like anything, which will make any PC Master Race lover, like, have an aneurysm because of it. But it's on the Vita. What else do you expect? The core gameplay there, everything's included in this version that was in, like, Enemy Within. Yeah, that's right. XCOM Enemy. Blah, 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 I can't talk. XCOM Enemy Within. Yeah, everything from that's included in this. It's just so fucking good. Do yourself a favor and pick it up. It's awesome and worth the $20.
Sweet.
So yeah,
that's good to hear that.
That's it for me.
The Vita, yeah. I've been wanting to play some on Vita. Like, I keep turning the system on and then just going through the store and looking at stuff, but I never download anything. I thought I had downloaded Killzone Mercenaries back when that was on PS Plus, but I think I missed it.
Oh, so. Yeah, I started that up. Never really got far because I think it finished downloading at like 1 a.m. just before I was going to go to bed, so I just... Let's see how this looks, and it's a pretty looking game for the Vita.
Yeah, it looks great on Vita. Like, I owned a copy at one point, but got rid of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me go I keep saying I'm gonna go quickly through these games. I spent like 5 minutes.
Hey,
on it.
we got a lot of time to kill.
I guess so because of the stories. But the next one, I talked about it earlier a little bit. Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Been playing that on PS4 with my little brother in co-op. Always enjoy playing the Lego games in co-op. Last Lego game I played was Lego Dimensions. I completely passed on a Lego Marvel Avengers, which I heard wasn't that great. Yeah. But I was waiting to play this game. It's going to be, probably like a yearly tradition buying one of the Lego games. But it's fun. Playing it in co-op, like I said, I've been streaming it on Twitch. We've done 2 streams so far. I'm about a little under 2 hours into the game. And it's cool. I'm digging it. It's a Lego game with Star Wars. It's, nothing out of the ordinary, right?
Yeah.
And basically it's stretching out The Force Awakens over a whole Lego game, which is different than the other Lego Star Wars games, which they had 3 movies apiece, except for the Clone Wars one, which was just, I believe, the animated series, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
And then the last one before Lego Dimensions that I played was Lego Jurassic World, and that was all 4 movies. So it's interesting to see how much they get out of The Force Awakens so far, in terms of the levels and the characters and all that. But there's so many unlockables, and it's still, the typical Lego charm with the cheesy jokes and all that. But I'll keep playing that. I'm gonna keep streaming it.
Nice.
I keep doing the full playthrough. Let's see. I got Street Fighter V here on the list. PlayStation 4. The story mode finally came out.
So it's finally a real game now.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's funny. I booted up the game with the downloaded story and all the new stuff, and it really is finally a new game. Like, they have a bunch of training stuff now that you could earn points in and learn the characters' move sets and all that. There's a story mode. There's a bunch of new characters. There's a bunch of new stages. You got to accumulate a lot of fight points to unlock a lot of things. But that's fine with me, like, as long as I don't have to outright pay for anything and I can just grind it out in the game. It's fine. The story mode is 5 acts. I'm on Act 4 right now. I was trying to finish it up earlier, but I don't know. I just was laughing so hard because it's bad. The story mode is bad, but, like, not bad, like, I hate it bad, but so bad it's good type of thing.
So, like Street Fighter the movie type bad.
Not like that, but I don't know. It's Street Fighter story. Like, it's not. I think the bar has been set so high, or was set so high by Mortal Kombat 9, which still I think is the best story in any fighting game that I've played.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 10X was good too, but it didn't live up to Mortal Kombat 9 in my opinion. Injustice was also a very good story mode. But this is just very cheesy. There's some terrible lip syncing. Like, it's really bad. There's some, like, issues with clipping of, like, the character's hair with their clothes, and it's really, I don't know, but I'm still digging it, and I'm gonna finish it. The story is really cheesy and over the top, but yeah, it doesn't reach the heights of, like, the Mortal Kombat 9 story and how polished that was. It's just really, really goofy. But hey, I've gotten probably like over an hour of content so far. I'm probably towards the end of it, so it's probably like, I'd say maybe 2 hours of content. So it's not too bad, and it's free update. It should have been there at the beginning, but it's been really strange how they've rolled out this game. Yeah. It's pretty obvious that they rolled it out for EVO and the fighting conventions and all that. But yeah, it's bad but good in a way. I don't know. It's one of those games. Another game that I've been streaming, and I've only streamed like an hour of it so far, is Red Dead Redemption on Xbox One. Finally came out on the backwards compatibility
and people
section.
Finally shut up about it.
Yeah, because this and I believe Black Ops and Black Ops 2 are like the most requested games. And Black Ops, they already dropped. Now they dropped this. They still got Black Ops 2 left to drop. But Yeah, I never played through Red Dead Redemption, which I know a lot of people are like, I played maybe like 15 minutes back in the day of it and just never finished it or never played more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of really fresh for me. So I started it. I'm about an hour into it. It is an old game at this point. Like, came out, what, 2010?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it came out the first year I started working at my job. So, yeah, I think it was 2010. 2010 or 2011.
Like, it's an old game at this point, and you can definitely see that it's not bad. Like, the voice acting is fantastic, and that's usually the case with all Rockstar games. That really holds up. Like, the voice acting of the characters, that really holds up. The story's interesting. Stuff that's kind of not that great is how you control your horse, and I don't know if it's because of like Metal Gear and The Witcher last year, and I'm expecting the horse to control that well, and it definitely doesn't, because you have to move. The way you move the horse feels kind of janky for me, and then the way you have to tap and to speed up, and it's just not holding the direction, forward. And so you got to tap it, and then you got to hold it down if you want to be at the same speed of your comrade or whoever you're following. Like, I don't know, that took me a while to really get used to it, but it's still a huge open world. It looks pretty good. It definitely is an older game, but it still looks pretty good, pretty decent. Some of the character models don't. Like, there's some older characters that just look like Walking Dead zombies in this, but and I'm not playing Undead Nightmare. I'm playing the actual game, but I'm looking forward to playing more of it. It's another game I'll be streaming some more as I play through it and see how far I get. But
so I take it that they've improved the backwards compatibility now, because you mentioned to me before that you had problems with Stick of Truth in the past.
Yeah, which they never fix, supposedly, because I looked up on forums that there was some like bad audio syncing issues with Stick of Truth, and I know there were some other games that were having issues, like Halo Reach, I believe, was having really bad issues, but they patched it. But the game is running fine, and I've heard reports that it actually runs better on Xbox One than it does on 360. Okay. Which is cool. I haven't noticed like any real like frame rate dips or anything like that I didn't notice. Maybe there is. And I heard Undead Nightmare runs even better, supposedly, for whatever reason, which is weird. But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it. This is like one of the most highly regarded games. I know a lot of people, this is one of their favorite games of all time, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing it. Like, I enjoy some of the mechanics, like the shooting and stuff. But we'll see where it goes from here, because that horse, I'm just being completely honest, the horse controls were throwing me off. It was kind of ticking me off. But all right, the last and final game I'm going to talk about, which I said I wasn't going to play, but this is the game that made me lose the bet to Lord X that we talked about a few weeks ago. It's only been a few weeks since we talked about that. So basically, I got to do that video of the top 10 reasons I love Nintendo right now, right?
Yep.
Which will be coming soon. It'll be sometime this month. Like, I'm not going to pull a Kyle Bossman and be like, oh, there was no date, I'll do it in 2018, but and try to cheat. But yeah, that's Inside on the Xbox One. I believe it came out this week, or it's coming out next week on PC. So
it's out this week on PC, yeah.
So it's one of those, Xbox One indie exclusive games. This is a follow-up to Limbo, the studio's Play Dead Studios, which is crazy to think. Limbo came out, I think that's another 2010 game.
Yeah.
So I guess they've just been working on ports since the original Limbo, because it came out on 360 and PC, and then they brought it to the Vita, PS4. They've been working on this game for a long time, and the game is a short game. It's 3 hours, but it's some really good 3 hours, I gotta say. I've spoken about Limbo in the past, so that's another game like Gone Home that it didn't live up to the hype, to the expectations that I had for it. Not a bad game. Limbo, I think, is a good game. I don't think it's an amazing game. Now, Inside is Limbo, but even better. So it definitely is a very good... I don't know if I'll say if it's amazing. It's definitely one of my Game of the Year contenders right now.
Wow.
It hasn't dethroned Uncharted 4. That's not going to hapen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen until
they had
you play
Crash
Dead or
Bandicoot
Alive Extreme 3.
in VR.
I
But
hear it's quite titillating.
Oh my god. This guy. Which is another thing that I was talking about streaming. Now that I have this setup, I could actually stream VR games and you guys could see my live reactions. So the day I get my PSVR, expect some streams. If you miss it, I'm going to actually archive that stuff on my YouTube channel also. So that's going to be really fun.
Now I can't wait for January 24th.
Oh, Resident Evil. I'm streaming that. You're going to see my live reactions. But yeah, back to Inside. It's Limbo, but a lot more polished in my opinion, and a lot better balance. I had like issues with Limbo with some of the puzzles that were really frustrating me. There was no time in this game where I had to stop and look up like a puzzle. Wow. Like by the end of Limbo, I think I even said it on the show. I was like, screw this. I'm just looking up all the puzzles. I ain't got time for this. But this game, I didn't have to look up anything at all. Like it might have taken me like 5 minutes to figure out whatever the puzzle was, but I figured it out. So I thought it was well balanced from that perspective. And it's gorgeous. Like Limbo was another game that was gorgeous, but this looks even better. It's still very mysterious. Like you just get dropped into this world. Even by the end, you don't know what the hell's going on. Like the last section of this game, you're like, what is this game? Like this game just gets progressively weirder as you go through it. Like it really does. Like at the beginning, it feels like it's grounded, even if it isn't like fantastical at the beginning. Like you're running away from these people. They're pretty much trying to murder you. You have no idea why. At least you as a player don't. Then you go through this like factory pretty much, and things just get more fantastical. Like stuff at the beginning that you couldn't do. I'm not trying to spoil stuff, but that's why I'm like trying to not do any spoilers. But stuff that you couldn't do at the beginning of the game, or mechanics that you couldn't do, like halfway through the game, they're like, "Oh no, now you could do that." Like it just gets like weirder and weirder, and by the end of the game, you're like, "What is going on?" And I think that's what really pissed me off, like the ending of this game. Like I finished it and I was like, what? Like it was another Limbo in that case. Like when you finish Limbo, you're like, no, like you just started all over again. Like it just, at least this, you don't start it all over again. But it's like the biggest what the hell is going on. I still don't know what's going on. Like it was interesting, and like it made you think about things, but like the ending was so what the hell. That's probably the biggest reason why it's not like Game of the Year for me, because of the ending. Because I was like, what the hell was that? Like that was my reaction.
I think that's a reaction most people have been having to that game.
It's like, what the hell is that? But it's really creepy, like just like Limbo was, really disturbing in some areas. And I really like that. I like that a game. What I was thinking about while I was playing this, I'm like, you're playing as a little boy and you're getting just destroyed if like you make a mistake. And it kind of got me thinking of like the Grand Theft Auto series and how they don't have children in that because of the backlash that it would have. So a game like this, you're playing as a child and you're just getting like annihilated. So it's an interesting perspective in that regard. It is like Limbo, like in that game, like if a spider got you, stab you and kill you. But the mechanics are really good. Like it just feels a lot more polished than Limbo. The mechanics are fantastic. The way you figure out puzzles is fantastic. The level design is fantastic. I never felt like I was lost or anything. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought the gameplay was like really good in this, and all the little things that you find along the way, and all the new mechanics that you find as you play through the game. Like I said, the stuff that at the beginning you couldn't do, by the end of the game you can do, and it's kind of fantastical in that sense, and it really turns things like in a different direction. Like it was like a kind of a what the hell game all across the board. That ending really frustrated me because I didn't feel like I got any closure with it, but I still really enjoyed it. So if you guys are out there and you're right now in one of the low points of the year, pretty much like
if
July,
you're in
like
limbo.
Oh my god, the puns. The puns today. Daniel Kaiser would be proud. But if you're looking for something to play, that something's different, and you do have an Xbox One or a PC, check out Inside. It's $20. It only lasts for about 3 hours, which was really spot on because I think I finished it like a little over 3 hours, so they were pretty spot on in the reviews when they were talking about that. But another thing, don't watch reviews of it, like, which I didn't. Like, I started to watch Ryan McCaffrey's review from IGN, like his review, and at the beginning he's like, if I recommend that you just go into this game as blind as possible. Stop the review right now and go play it. And that's what I did. I ended up buying the game, I played through it, and then I went back and I watched his review. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. Like, it was a really high praise from IGN. I think it's really good. I think it's a step up from Limbo. I definitely recommend it. Like, if you have Xbox One, if you have a PC, go pick it up. I don't know if this will hit PlayStation eventually like Limbo did.
I'm sure it will.
I don't know what deal they have in place with Microsoft for the exclusivity of this, but yeah, that wraps it up for the 7 games that I've been playing this week. And ooh, that was a lot of games this week.
Hey, that filled a lot of time.
Yeah, it did. Because you'll see from the stories here that there isn't much else to talk about.
Yeah. Alright, so with that, it's time to dive into the news, where we got some awesome stuff, some funny stuff, some weird side stuff, and some game releases. So, Izzy, why don't you kick us off with some awesome stuff?
Alright, so I didn't realize this was over already. Or is this still in progress?
Wrapped up last night.
Alright, so Summer Games Done Quick 2016, the yearly speedrun marathon, raised $1.295 million for charity. That's fantastic. I missed a lot of these streams because I was streaming myself or I was out. But that's great to hear. It's going to be going to Doctors Without Borders, which seems to be some sort of charity organization. It seems like they, it was a little bit more than they got last year in 2015, which was 1.23 million. But yeah, it's awesome. They're going to do another awesome Games Done Quick event January of next year. It's great to see that this raised that much money, for this charity organization, helping people really out. Great. Especially a week like this week, which I don't want to get into too much, but this has been a really depressing week in terms of just looking at the news and what's been going on in the real world outside of gaming. So it's just great to hear stuff like this.
Definitely. I watched a fair bit of it. Almost every day I turned it on to watch like a run or two. Some of the highlights from this year involved a playthrough of Symphony of the Night, Castlevania, blindfolded, which was insane as all.
Oh my god. I can't even play that game without blindfolds. Like, I'm terrible at Castlevania games.
Yeah. And on the final day, which I had the day off, so I spent most of my time watching it. They had a 4-way Pokemon Red race, which was really cool, followed by a glitched run of Pokemon Blue, where they did the gyms in reverse order, starting with Giovanni and ending with Brock. It's a mind fuck watching some of this stuff, man. And the last run they did last night, which I fucked up my sleep over, was watching Super Mario RPG, and just great runs all around. They've archived, like, I think everything at this point on their YouTube channel, so if you've missed something, go check them out. It's honestly amazing to watch these guys just absolutely destroy some of your, like, old-time favorite games or some of your new games that have come out in recent memory. It's really cool. So do yourself a favor, go check that out. They even did a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze race as well.
Really?
Yep. Which was really interesting because they used Cranky for most of it.
Oh, I don't want to watch it now.
Alright, well, let's dive into our next news story here.
Now this is funny.
This is amazing. I saw this article, and even though it's technically movie news, which we don't cover on here, it's gaming related all the same.
Yeah.
When you're putting out a movie, what's the main thing you expect to get from it, Izzy? What's the main thing you expect?
Well, it should be to make money, right? It should be profitable, because that's the whole point of the movie business.
Exactly.
Is to make a film for a certain budget,
yep,
recoup that budget, and make some profit for the studio.
Exactly. In terms of Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed movie won't earn much money, they say. It's a lot more a marketing thing. So congratulations, people. Coming this December, a 2-hour-long trailer for the next Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, man. I can't believe they admitted to this. Even said this.
This is amazing. Just reading the article here on IGN by Alex Osborne. Ubisoft doesn't expect to make a lot of money from its upcoming Assassin's Creed film, but instead sees it as a way to increase awareness of the brand, because a game every year for the last 6 years hasn't raised enough awareness. We are not going to earn a lot of money from it, Ubisoft's European head Alan Corey told MCV. Instead of seeing the film as a profit generator, Ubisoft is looking at Assassin's Creed the movie as an opportunity to promote its popular video game franchise, with Corey noting that it has a lot more of a marketing thing, and also good for the image of the brand. Not if it tanks, that's for fuck sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is just fucking hilarious. I guess after Prince of Persia, they're like, yeah, fuck it, we're not going to make anything from this. Let's just put it out there with one of the biggest stars of Hollywood right now. And
it's
not expecting it. We're putting out a 2-hour-long, $200 million commercial. What the? Really, Ubisoft?
Weird. And I heard Prince of Persia, when it was all said and done, did pretty decent.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the budget was for it, but it did better than people thought. And I guess they never made a sequel for whatever reason. I guess the reception to the movie, not necessarily because it completely bombed. But this is just weird. Assassin's Creed is already one of the biggest franchises in gaming. How bigger can you get? Most of the games in the series usually would sell 10 million plus.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Across all platforms. How it's just what? It's just a mark. So if this is a marketing thing, why isn't it about a character that's actually been in the games or will be in the games in the future? Because I'm sure Fassbender's character, Callum Lynch,
it's tying into the universe somehow.
It has to be at this point. If they don't expect to make money off of this, maybe it's because it's coming out so close to Rogue One that they don't expect to make money, because Rogue One is going to make money. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not confident in the film. It's just really weird. Why?
It's
the
like
budget
they're trying
on
to
this
cut their losses now before it even happens.
Yeah, the budget on this must have been pretty high, because from what I've seen of like the special effects and the locations, the CGI, like it's just really weird that this is more of a marketing thing. So you're not even gonna make like a quality product. Like, shouldn't that be like, if you want people to be exposed to Assassin's Creed, make at least like, I don't know, like it's just so many questions come up. Like, are they not confident? Like, is it just a bad movie? Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's weird, which is sad, because I'm still looking forward to this. This is one of the movies I'm gonna go see. Like, I didn't go see Warcraft because I don't have any connection to that franchise.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is another situation, right? Like, I played Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations. Like, I beat all those games, and Assassin's Creed 3 was there. Assassin's Creed 4 I played quite a bit but never finished it. Assassin's Creed Unity was a disaster, which I played like 2/3 of it. Syndicate, like, I bought, but I haven't started it yet. Well, I actually started it and shut it off immediately. But that's a whole other conversation. I don't know what I was thinking. But I have more of a connection to this franchise, and I want to see how they take the whole concept of the Animus and, the ideas in the Assassin's Creed universe and put them on film. But it's just really weird that they would say something like this.
Yeah, it is.
Makes no sense.
Alright, how about we move on to our next news story?
Alright, I think I exited out of it by mistake. But here it is. Mai from the King of Fighters franchise is coming to Dead or Alive 5. It's crazy how much they've been supporting that game.
Yeah.
I didn't think they released like the vanilla version, and then they released like
the free-to-play version.
And then they released like another version, like last round. Yeah.
Yep. This is what she's coming to, is last round, by the way.
Yeah, she's gonna be coming to last round specifically, like you said. That's cool, because she's been one of the more prominent characters, if not the prominent character of the King of Fighters series.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're bringing her over to Dead or Alive 5. I like to see how she controls in that 3D space. Because King of Fighters have been traditionally 2D, both in artwork and the space that you play. The new one is like 3D, but it's still 2D if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, it just has 3D character models. I haven't been following that closely because King of Fighters has never been a series that necessarily resonated with me. It's one of the, I don't want to diss it by saying like lower tier fighting games, because I know a lot of people really enjoy these games, but it's not like a Street Fighter, right? Yeah. Like, it's not like a Street Fighter, a Mortal Kombat on that level, but it's cool. And I'm looking at this stuff. They got an Attack on Titan stage coming to Dead or Alive last round. That's
I'm actually
crazy.
Really excited for this.
And they got all the costumes from Attack on Titan for the different characters. This is just weird. I guess Tecmo Koei's trying to get the most out of this franchise that they can get, right? Yes.
Well, if you go through like the PlayStation Store, or PC, or Xbox Store now, I think this game has more DLC than Train Simulator, which is saying a lot. Like, you could literally spend like $1,000 on costumes right now.
Jeez.
For this game. I'm pretty damn sure of it. Like, there's like 4 season passes, and every one of them's like $90. It's insane. It really is. But it's really cool that they continue to support it like this. And like, everybody was surprised a few months ago when they brought in a new character from the Samurai Warriors games. I think that was the one she's from. Really great character. Like, cool, they're actually putting in an actual character DLC. I picked it up. She played awesomely. I was happy with the purchase. And I will probably pick up Mai here when she drops as well. I've used Mai before in the past King of Fighter games, and I did like her style back then, so quite interested to see how she's going to play. Unfortunately, she's probably going to get bombarded with a lot of costumes as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I'm excited for this. And I looked at the Attack on Titan costumes. I think they're really awesome as well.
Mm-hmm.
So may have to pick up a few of those along the way.
Oh, that makes sense because they're working on the Attack on Titan game. That's why.
Yep.
Now it clicked for me. So I was like, "What the hell?" I guess they're making money off of this. That's why they keep releasing content for Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is weird because I know people like the game, but I never heard people talk about this Dead or Alive as much as they talked about previous ones. It kind of felt like there wasn't that much anticipation regarding like the vanilla release and then the last round release. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not into Dead or Alive. Maybe that's why I didn't see the fervor over the new release. That could be the case, but
I was excited for it. I picked up last round on PS4 when it dropped down in price, so I was happy to get that. And it's, Big Boss, who's been on the show before, he loves the franchise as well. I know he was disappointed that he never grabbed it on the PS4 sale at the time it went on, but he played a lot of it on PS3, so there's a lot of fans of the franchise, and honestly, I really enjoy the fighting style of Dead or Alive more than that of like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's different. I've played some of them before. I've played like DOA 2 Extreme, was it called? I played Dead or Alive 3 back on the original Xbox. I played Dead or Alive 4 on 360. So I've played some of the games in the series, but it's just never clicked with me. I'm more of a Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat type of guy, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least there's, more variety in the fighting game space. But that's cool that they're getting a lot of content. It's nice to see Team what the hell am I talking about? Team Ninja working on this franchise, because they haven't really been working on much else like ever since Ninja Gaiden kind of came and went. And Metroid Other M, and at least Tecmo Koei's putting stuff out there with Dead or Alive and the Attack on Titan game, the Muso games. They're the ones behind Neo, right? Also, if I'm not mistaken.
I do believe so. Yes.
Tecmo Koei. So that's cool. It seems like they're doing pretty well.
All right, time for our final news story, which this week is just a new release announcements roundup from the PlayStation blog. And even from this, we only got 3. That tells you how fucking slow the news is right now, folks. So, first off, Kerbal Space Program officially launches on July 12th on PlayStation 4. On Xbox One as well, I believe. Emily Wants to Play arrives August 9th on PlayStation 4. And Lifeless Planet Premier Edition is coming to PlayStation 4 on July 19th. So look forward to those 3 games. I'm quite interested in Kerbal, but I will not be paying full price for it.
I am currently looking up the Dead or Alive Extreme 3 VR stuff, because we just talked about Dead or Alive and it reminded me of it. Because I don't think it's coming stateside, since that game didn't come stateside.
Well, it'll probably be introduced in an update, because if you own an imported copy of the game, you do get the updates. I can confirm that.
Oh, really?
Yep. Almost like every week there's a new update to the game. They put out a new one there a few weeks ago with new items for the game, and it downloaded on my system. So, there's quite frankly, if you import a copy of the game, you're probably going to get an update with the VR stuff.
Huh.
And now Izzy goes to Play Asia to buy a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme 3.
Huh. Yep, I'm buying this. There's gonna be so much stupid stuff I buy on VR just because it's on VR. I'm letting everybody know that right now. Like October is gonna be, you're gonna be like, Izzy, why you bought that crappy game? It's in VR, bro. Like, sorry. Yep, I'm importing one.
Got him. All right, so moving ahead, it's time for our topic of the week. And this week our topic comes from Aaron B. And he writes, suggestion for topic of the week. What do you think are the geopolitical factors that are contributing to the growing presence of the Islamic State in the Middle East and Africa? Do you think the United States was in part responsible for the creation of ISIS? Or do you blame the group's formation entirely on fundamental interpretation of religious texts? Alternatively, you could discuss the ninth generation of consoles. Will we ever see a PlayStation 5 like industry vits said we wouldn't? Do you consider Xbox Scorpio and NX to be ninth gen consoles? Alright, well, Aaron B,
yeah,
I think we're going to go with the first one here and talk about... Nah, we're going to talk about the second one.
That is... I'm not even going to go there.
I laughed my fucking ass off when I read this comment first. I was
Jeez,
like,
that's
Aaron,
some funny stuff.
Bravo.
Good stuff.
Great, that was amazing. This is why we love you here. So yeah, ninth generation of consoles. Do you think we're ever going to see a PlayStation 5? Yeah, yep. I think we will. And I think it's like we're going to see a PlayStation 5. We're going to see an Xbox 2. And I think the NX really is going to be the start of that ninth gen.
Yeah, because we would be...
eighth, yeah, along with PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
No, I'm talking about the original Wii.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be seventh with 360 PS3.
Yep.
Wii U would be with PS4 and Xbox One, eighth. So NX would be 9 then. Yeah,
it technically is. As far as like the Xbox Scorpio and the PlayStation Neo go, they're like 8.5. They're like the slim version of this console generation.
Yeah, they're a refresh. It's like the 3DS to new 3DS.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't see them as a new Xbox Scorpio. It's kind of strange how they're handling that. Like it's going to be backwards compatible with Xbox One, right? So yeah, but it seemed like all the games that are on Xbox One are going to be, the games that are going to come out on Scorpio are still going to play on your vanilla Xbox One. It just seems weird. Like right now that Microsoft is weird too. Like I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like right when I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing with this whole Play initiative, like Play Anywhere. Now they're backtracking on it. I was like, what the hell, Microsoft? Like, figure it out. Like,
which let's go back to that for 1 second. The Play Anywhere thing.
Yeah.
That was like the wrong kind of marketing for that, I think, because I think Play Anywhere, I think of PlayStation 4 and Vita. Take my Vita and go somewhere. What am I going to do with Play Anywhere and Xbox? Sit up from my couch and just move over to my computer chair? That's Play Anywhere for me right there with Xbox One and PC.
It's just really weird, like how now we're just getting into a tangent of like talking about what Microsoft is doing wrong right now, but it just feels like they have no focus. But back to like the original question, I do think we'll get a PlayStation 5. I don't think, like, people are saying there won't be another console generation, but what does that exactly mean?
They said that about PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Does that mean everybody moves to PC? Does that mean we just go into the whole phone cycle where there's iPhone 6, iPhone 6S, iPhone 7, iPhone 7S? Like, there's just constant upgrades. I don't see that necessarily being the case either. I think Sony and Microsoft are, testing the waters with this. I don't know if it's really going to take off.
If it does, maybe we won't see like a PlayStation 5. But if it doesn't, we're guaranteed to see it. Like, especially after how well this generation of consoles have done after
Yeah.
like all people were saying like, oh, it's gonna fail and whatnot beforehand, we're definitely getting like a next generation.
It's really weird, like the state of the industry right now. But they keep saying stuff like, remember when they were all saying like everybody's gonna be playing mobile games and consoles are dead?
Yep.
Yeah, that happened, right? No, you go play Pokemon Go, right? And just have like a really shallow experience, but no, like it just feels kind of strange. Like I guess like I don't see everybody moving to PCs. Maybe the way that he was trying to phrase it was the whole, constant refresh, that moving forward it isn't going to be like that jump that we see from like PS2 to PS3, right? Like it's just going to be incremental upgrades, but somewhere along the line they need to stop, because that even happens with iOS. Like if you have an original iPad, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the apps do not work on there anymore because they need the latest version of iOS, and if they stop supporting that device, then you're done. So at some point it's going to be sort of like a new console generation.
Yeah.
Because what's going to be the first PS Neo game that's going to do that, right? Like right now, they're like, no, both games are going to play on both systems. PS4 Neo, PS4K, whatever you want to call it. It's going to run better. It's going to look better, but you can still run it on both systems, right? But there's going to be eventually a point where they don't do that. So that's why I don't see the Neo necessarily being a new, like, ninth gen, or the Xbox One Scorpio being a ninth gen because of that, because they still play the older games. They're just upgraded, right?
Right.
Once they get to that point where they're like, okay, you cannot run this game on the older hardware, right? Then that's the new console generation. So maybe we just get like that moving forward. I don't know. It's really strange what's going on in the industry right now. It's all speculation at this point. Like, we're not business people. We're just, fans talking about this and how we've seen the console cycles go before. It still amazes me how well the PlayStation 4 is selling.
Yeah.
And it's still selling. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I do think we'll see a ninth generation of consoles. I think we'll see eventually a PlayStation 5. I don't know what the hell Microsoft is doing right now with Xbox One Scorpio. I don't know if they announced that too early, because they didn't really have much to say. It just seems like a super.
Look at our fancy logo. We got all these teraflops.
We got this chip that says 4K on it, man. You can't run 4K games unless your chip says 4K on it, bro. It's so stupid. And what was it? 6 teraflops. That's a lot of teraflops. And then NX, like, secretly I want it to fail. Not so secretly, because I've been vocal about that now. I just want them to go third party at this point. Just give me the games. Like, stop making hardware, Nintendo. Stop it. Like, I'm about to go on a rant about Nintendo. I need to stop myself. Because honestly, now this is a tangent. What game on the Wii U could have not been done on the PS4?
Yeah.
Like Nintendo Land, probably, because you need the gamepad for that.
Yeah, but you could use
Star
the Vita.
Fox. Exactly, you can still use the Vita. Like, oh man, and the best games I think in that system are the ones that you don't have to do that stupid stuff. Like Splatoon, you have to use the gamepad because the map is on there. That makes sense. I didn't use the motion controls on it. I didn't like that. Tropical Freeze, you do not need that. Mario 3D World, you don't need that. Pikmin, you don't need that.
You
Zelda,
play Pikmin
you don't
with
need
a Pro Controller?
Yeah, that's how I played it. I had the gamepad down because you can use the gamepad as a map, which is cool, but you
Okay.
can't play it with another controller.
Okay. Duly noted.
But rant over. I don't want to get into Nintendo. I still got to make that video about top 10 reasons I love them right now. But Inside was definitely worth it, as I talked about earlier. But yeah, I think we'll see another console generation. It's just really strange. And like, if Nintendo keeps trying to do this, like, oh, let's release the system, like, you know, at the end of one system's life cycle, or like halfway through another system, like, it just, I don't know.
Abandoned ship. Let's bring it to dinghy.
Abandoned ship, Nintendo. Please, just go third party. Stop it, Nintendo. I just want to play Mario Kart on PSN. Please.
All right, well, I think that does it for our topic of the week. I'm in agreement.
Now, about the
with you.
Islamic State now.
Tune in next week.
No.
As for questions and comments go, we did get one comment on via the Twitter this week, and that was from Matt Bird, one of our friends over on gamingleg.com, where he asked, or he just said, Adam Boyes leaving Sony, huge news. And yeah, that was a bit of a surprise coming out. Like,
yeah,
it's really sad to see Adam leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially after he was one of the biggest people behind Shenmue.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3, like, he was the one.
3, Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah, all those third-party deals that they had, and
all the indie games.
Yeah, he was behind a lot of that stuff, which is crazy. And something that we didn't mention, I believe, was that Nick Sutner, also from PlayStation, he also left them recently, and he was behind a lot of third-party stuff.
Yep.
Third-party relations, if I'm not mistaken, with a lot of indie stuff too.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of sad to see these people go, especially Adam, who was more out there. Like Nick Sutner, of course, he was with the PlayStation blog, the PlayStation blogcast, all that stuff. But in terms of being out on stage and stuff, like Adam Boyes was one of their figureheads as of recent memory at E3, at PSX.
Yeah.
It was like kind of one of those people that would go out there and really champion these games. He was out there with Yu Suzuki, like we mentioned, for the Shenmue 3 announcement. That was a very special moment for me and a lot of other people. So it's sad to see him go. He's going back into game development, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I don't know exactly who he's going to be working with, in what capacity, if he's just going to oversee the projects, be a producer.
Imagine if he goes to help Kojima.
Or he goes with Yu Suzuki to finish up Shenmue 3. That'd be ironic. But yeah, best to Adam Boyes. Like, I really liked him as a personality over at PlayStation, not only as a figurehead, but he was also in that famous video with Shuhei of how to play games on your PS4, or how to trade games and all that stuff.
Yeah, how to share games.
Yeah, that was the title. But yeah, it's sad to see him go, but hopefully he really likes wherever he goes next and is very successful.
Indeed. Best of luck, Adam. And
breaking news: Izzy has
leave.
taken over for third-party relations. No.
No, we just gotta hope that Gio Corsi stays on. Somebody needs to keep championing the Vita.
The Vita, yeah.
And I do believe that's going to do it for this show this week. And we actually got over an hour.
Yeah, because of me talking about so many games.
We're probably going to need that moving forward here in the summer. So
yeah.
Unless
Nintendo announce something soon.
Then it's just like a 3-hour tangent from Izzy.
Just me complaining.
Anyways, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. That's pretty much all I have to say. So, Izzy, take it over to you to wrap things up here.
All right, before we wrap things up, I was talking a lot about streaming earlier, so if you guys want to watch any of my streams, I'm over at Twitch. That is twitch.tv/IsraelPacheco89plays. That's going to be my source of streaming. I don't know where I was going there. I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'll be streaming stuff moving forward. That's a lot of fun for me.
You can find the link down below.
Yep. And let us know any of your thoughts on any of the things we covered, any of these 7 games that I've been playing. I'd like to hear people's thoughts on Pokemon Go and what they think about that, because I know that's kind of a hot topic at the moment. Any of the stories we discuss, I really want to see what people think about Ubisoft saying the Assassin's Creed movie is just a promotional tool. Crazy. And your thoughts on if there's going to be a 9th generation of consoles. So some good stuff this week. Hopefully we have some new stories next week to talk about. Hopefully, if not, I'll have a list of 30 games to go through. But for Lord X, I am Izzy, aka Israel Pacheco 89, and we are glitching out. Good.